Domestic violence. Our next episode on She Wasn't Born Yesterday is about domestic violence, escaping it.
It's not light.
It's not a light topic, but we do talk to two very, very knowledgeable and inspiring ladies who know all about it in their work with women. And here's the interesting thing about this episode that I think it's a little known, a sort of forgotten victim of domestic violence is the kids involved in the situation.
Yeah, I was glad that was addressed actually.
Yes.
Because at the moment there's not much chatter about that.
Actually, I mean, there's a huge noise about mainly, everyone says, oh, you're generalising, it's men violent against women. But that is the majority of cases, right?
Well, exactly. The vast majority is men being violent with women.
Yes.
But certainly, I think the unforgotten, or the forgotten little, but it is a small sector of women being violent with the children and the husbands and so on.
Or like daughters to parents and all that sort of thing. So we're we haven't addressed that, but in this episode, but
we've gone with the majority thing,
we have.
Which is kind of males to
women.
They're close.
Also the kids, because, I hadn't really thought about this. There's been a couple of high-profile cases recently, which devastatingly tragic, where a guy would, kill the kids
to hurt
the woman.
The woman,
which is, utterly unbelievable.
But actually happens, sadly, relatively commonly. I was going to say that, you're right. It has been talked about recently, but it's happened.
I was going to ask you, what is it in a guy's head that makes him think, I need to control this person and harass them and stalk them and hurt them?
I think this is the Holy Grail, though, Janet, the answer to this question. So I certainly don't have the Holy Grail.
I want you to have the answer.
Well, I know, and people wish that they did have the answer to that, because we'd all be a lot better off, including the men involved, if we all knew what the exact trigger and the exact reason was. But it's way more complicated, I think, than that.
Do you think sort of a guy is sort of born that way?
I think there are definitely things within his psychology, some of which he will have been born with, that lead him to be unable to know how to deal with really awful feelings that he's having in any other way than these awful expressions. Yeah.
And is it also about role models? Like in your family situation, if your father has been quite disrespectful to women, or
I'm sure. We feel sure, I think, from research that's true.
Yeah. But I was actually shocked to hear how many kids have been affected by domestic violence before they even, at a very young age. Even just witnessing it, if it's not directly to them, must have a profound effect on their psychology, right?
Yes.
So what do you think it actually would do to a child to see their mum abused by?
Well, it affects them for the rest of their lives. Yeah. So I think that's the other thing. You can't just go, you're all right now. You're safe now. You're in a safe space. That helped, but they carry the wounds. They carry the wounds for the whole of their lives.
Because I guess you'd be sort of thinking, you'd also be thinking, am I part of this? Have I caused this? Do you think that would be an aspect of it?
I'm sure
as a
for
child,
children. For children.
If I just am
really quiet, am I to blame for being naughty, taking an extra cookie from the cookie jar? Did I kind of bring this about?
Yeah. I used to do that all the time, but I never felt bad about it. So it was fascinating to talk to Justine, particularly because I think she actually is a psychologist who works, or a social worker as well, who works with children, specifically children in trauma between the ages of 1 to 13.
It was lovely to have her angle on the children in particular, because it is true that society is talking and thinking about men's violence to females, and that's wonderful. But the children at the moment don't necessarily, get talked about.
Yeah, that's exactly
so it's lovely
exactly
talking to
right.
her.
Yeah. Because obviously, when a child is killed by the father, I recently heard about a 2-year-old who was killed. I'm like, oh my goodness! Even being a police person or any of the first responders going something like that, it just has a profound effect on individuals, but society. And do you think it's actually happening more often now?
Or are we talking about it?
Are we just talking about it more? Yeah, what do you think?
you know, the stats on that just can't be ever known. I think people have been very silent about it for a great many decades, so we can't know.
Why do you think that is?
I think that people feel, well, you know, we're talking about men, so it's their father or it's their partner, and they feel a lot of faithfulness to their, you know, these people are important to them. And they are with these people for a good reason. So it's not easy to kind of do the dirty, which people see it as being, on those people who are really important to you.
So it is quite a triggering episode that we've got coming up, but it is a very powerful one, and it's a really interesting and inspiring one in a lot of ways. Escaping domestic violence, the episode is dropping on Thursday. We look forward to your company.
Janet, I think we should also really point out that this topic is so triggering that actually a lot of people are going really going to need support. And 1-800-RESPECT is a really useful number to know and remember and not feel embarrassed about jumping on. There's absolutely nothing wrong in that.
Yeah, important. So we recommend it, and take a listen. We look forward to your company.